Hi everybody, it's Serge here from FindMyHouse.ca and Serge Bourgoin Associates. Today we have the honor to have a guest here, Farhana Nurani. She is a real estate lawyer and she's going to give us a little bit of advice and give us a bit of knowledge that will help you in your next real estate transaction. So Farhana, thank you for coming out today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Farhana, so one of the things that I wanted to bring up in discussion today is, why should someone use a real estate lawyer, someone who specializes in real estate, versus using their family lawyer that does everything else?
So firstly, it's really important for the client to be comfortable with the lawyer that they choose. The second aspect is that real estate contracts are unique, and it's important that a real estate lawyer is used because we're most familiar with those contracts and the type of transactions and the issues that can arise with those type of real estate transactions. So it's important to have a lawyer who's comfortable with doing real estate transactions and dealing with any potential issues that may arise.
I can attest that this has happened with some of my clients in the past, and unfortunately they didn't follow my advice and use one of the lawyers that I recommended. They used the lawyer that they knew who didn't specialize in real estate, and unfortunately there was a problem at closing, and the end result is we had problems and things didn't get handled in time. We didn't get possession in time. It ended up having to go to litigation, and these are all things that maybe could have been taken care of before possession, and maybe we wouldn't have had these problems had we had somebody who is more familiar with real estate law. Right?
I agree with that.
Okay. Something else that we often run across when dealing with properties, and we're starting to see it more and more these days, is sellers offering title insurance in lieu of a real property report with a compliance. So first of all, could you maybe explain to us what each of those things are?
Sure. So under section 10.2 of the real estate contract, there is a clause that states that the seller will provide a real property report and compliance. So the real property report is a survey of the land as it currently is shown. So it shows all the improvements on the land. It will have it'll show the property shape, it'll show the property line, it'll show if there's a fence on the property line, if there's a house, garage. If Serge sells you a house with a hot tub on it, it'll show that as well.
By the way, I'll be coming if you do.
So you've got different improvements is what they're called on this survey. Then the second component is compliance. Compliance is issued by the municipality where the property is located. So if it's in the City of Edmonton, City of Edmonton issues a compliance report. Strathcona County would do it for would issue the compliance report for, or compliance stamp now, for properties located in Sherwood Park. So on the compliance shows whether the property is compliant, non-conforming, or is non-compliant. Non-compliant is not good. It means that somewhere one of the improvements on the property does not comply with the either a development, building permits, or the bylaws for that municipality. So sometimes we see issues where decks are non-compliant because there's been no building permit or development permit for the deck. Occasionally, if the house has been sold multiple times, or for other reasons too, sellers might, for cost purposes sometimes, will also say, I've got a real property report, but I don't have compliance, so I'll sell it to you with title insurance instead. Title insurance is a insurance policy that is available to protect the new home or the buyer from some titled and untitled defects. So for example, if you were to purchase a property with a real property report that shows that there's a deck, but the sellers don't know if there's a deck permit, then if in later years you decide to sell the property and you get compliance and you apply to obtain compliance and it comes back that the deck doesn't have the development and building permits that are required, you may be able to make a claim against your title insurance policy to cover the costs that might be associated with obtaining those permits, because it was unknown at the time that you purchased the property whether or not there was a permit available for the deck.
So what are the risks of a buyer accepting title insurance in lieu of a real property report with compliance?
So the risk would be that this is an insurance policy. So it could be that your claim is denied.
So you could be denied and
be out of pocket.
Out of pocket to do any repairs or make any changes to the property to make it compliant.
Correct.
Okay. So typically, do you recommend people to accept title insurance?
Title insurance is based on your risk tolerance level. So for myself personally, I've just recently purchased a home and I've obtained title insurance, but I'm comfortable with that decision. It really depends on what the client's future aspirations for the property are. So if you're purchasing a property with the intention of making it an infill, so tearing down the house and the garage that might be on the property, then obtaining a current survey of the property with compliance may be redundant. So it depends on what you're planning on doing with the property and what your risk tolerance level is. It's important that if you have any questions or concerns, that you're able to pick up the phone, talk to your lawyer, discuss your options, because that will be the best indicator for clients as to whether or not they want to accept a real property report with title insurance or a real property report with compliance.
Yeah, I think that's an important point, is that if you're coming across a situation where your buyer and the seller is offering title insurance, you may want to have a quick discussion with your real estate lawyer and make a decision whether that's a wise decision for you to do, or you may want to go back and renegotiate and say, yes, we would like to buy the property, but only if the seller will provide a current real property report with compliance. Does that sound about right?
That sounds great.
Right. And when that happens, it's really, really important that your real estate agent that's representing you in a transaction has a good relationship with the lawyer. And one of the things I love about Farhana is that literally I can call her just about any time. I have her direct cell number. So if I call her at 9 o'clock at night and I says, Farhana, we got a little issue here, can we talk about it? She's there for me, and she's there for my clients. And I'm sure if you chose her as a lawyer, that she would be there for you as well. But it's important that your agent have a good relationship with the lawyer. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so. It allows for a smoother transaction as well. So there's less stress on the buyers, there's less stress on the real estate agent, and in turn there's less stress on me. So it's a win-win-win.
Awesome. So essentially, is there anything else that you feel that people should know out there about choosing a real estate lawyer or title insurance or the RPR or any of the topics we discussed today?
What clients are probably most interested in is fees. So real estate, your legal fees for a real estate transaction is divided, I like to divide it up into sort of three components. The first is the actual legal fees. So that's what you pay the real estate lawyer. There's the disbursements and other charges. So those are items such as, for disbursements and other charges, it would be things like your due diligence searches, your photocopying, courier costs, etc. And then the third component is title insurance. So that's an additional fee as well. And so title insurance can range depending on your property and the cost of the property. So it can range anywhere from approximately $179 to $225 and higher depending on the value of the property.
Actually, you just brought something up that I actually didn't think about asking you about. It's like, who pays for title insurance? Is it usually the buyer or the seller?
So the buyer pays for title insurance unless the seller is giving a credit. So if you are purchasing a property with real property report and title insurance in lieu of compliance, oftentimes the buyer's real estate agent will negotiate that is a credit to the buyer.
So title insurance is always purchased by the buyer, but they can get a credit from the seller to offset the cost of that title insurance.
Correct. But I should add to that, it's the buyer's lawyer who purchases the title insurance policy.
Right. Okay, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I can't know everything. No, it's always great to have a lawyer that knows what they're talking about in your corner, and that's what Farhana is for all of my clients. She's there making sure to take care of them. As you can see below here, here's her name, Farhana Nurani, and her phone number. And if you have any questions, feel free to give her a call anytime, and we'll let you go for today, but look for our next episode, and we'll talk about another topic that you should be aware of before you buy your next property. Thank you, and have a great day.